Good morning, everybody. Happy Lionsgate. I hope you have an amazing day today, that every ounce of time, every second, every minute, every hour, that everything that happens for you will be meaningful. And so today I'm doing a morning reading so that we can capture just the energies of the day. No theme, collective message for everybody with everyone's highest good in mind. What is the message for the collective, creatively speaking? What would you like to share with us, Spirit? You get cycles. It reads, the wind blows, the wheel turns. We go through cycles just like nature because we are part of nature. Okay. Let's keep pulling and see where cycles takes us. 3 cards. I'm actually going to keep them. There's uncertainty. I'm only looking at the keywords. Activation and stillness. So you see, it's almost like a sentence here. It's almost saying to you, there's uncertainty in wanting to get things moving, activated. So you prefer to, you're choosing stillness instead. So that is sort of denying the cycles, if you want, because the cycles would bring you into new activation so that you could start a new cycle. So maybe stillness here is showing you that you're on a threshold, you're transitioning from one cycle to another, and at the moment things are still and I was going to say stagnant, but it doesn't have to be stagnant. You can have a lot going on within you as you are sitting in stillness. I would like to get a planet to see which influence is present here. This one. It's the blue moon. We're going to have a blue moon at the end of the month. So this is really speaking of you are waiting for that blue moon at the end of the month, hence why you're in stillness at the moment. So until the 8th today, until the 30th, you will be in stillness. But again, I sense that this is going to be somewhat of interesting moment where there's going to be activation, but maybe within or maybe differently. But it also points to the fact that there's going to be true activation at the blue moon and afterward. So let's go for the tarot now. Let's look at what you feel uncertain about. What is it that you're patiently waiting for in stillness? And what are you contemplating while you're in stillness? Because if you look, she's at this card, she's looking down at the water and looking at the glitters, what she perceives to be glitter in the water. So she's actually seeing something happening, but it's very faint, it's very subtle. This card wants to come out, these two. So the Empress with the Ten of Swords in the reverse. The Empress is the activation, it's the cycles, right? It's the seasons, it's the abundance that we find in harvest. So harvest season has started since August 1st, quote unquote. So it is extremely, extremely auspicious here to get the Empress. I'm going to put her under the cycles card because she truly is almost the reason for the cycles. She's requesting expansion, right? She is requiring growth. You can't even escape it, even if you tried. And you see the cycle has ended. Ten of Swords here is showing that something has ended. But it is creating the uncertainty. Because now you haven't started just a new cycle just yet. Strength. You see, this is Lion's Gate energy. This is really what's happening. The activation is going to happen starting today, moving you into maybe a transition of a few weeks until the blue moon. It's asking you to be patient and restrained. Somewhat courageous, maybe. You do have to maybe evacuate some more of the pain that you experienced, probably. But what a beautiful energy to get strength here. You could also need courage and strength in order to break through the last bit of the cycle, or to push on through this transition. This card, the Nine of Pentacles, standing your ground. You're alone at the moment. This card is falling under stillness at the moment, so it's showing me that you need to be alone. There's something that you're working out for yourself. Namely, a lot of it is self-love with the Empress and the Nine of Pentacles together. You're working at being stable, feeling beautiful, enjoying your independence, being self-reliant is really the word I prefer here. Self-reliant. You know, you can really rely on your instincts, especially through the time of uncertainty and transition. And more of that is going to be required when it's really time to activate the new cycle. So let's draw one last card out of this deck. If possible, can you show us what happens at the blue moon? Three cards. Seven of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Hermit, all upright. So it's an interesting mix because it's like you're both opened and closed here. You're opened on the Six of Pentacles because you enjoy sharing yourself freely, and you enjoy giving of yourself to others, and making sure that you share the wealth that the Empress carries with her and that she provides, and even maybe forcing the Nine of Pentacles, who usually would keep to themselves, but maybe force them into maybe sharing more of themselves as well. And forcing them to go towards others. But there is a residual form of putting boundaries up when it comes to protecting your energy. You're still sort of closed off to truly participating. It feels like it's easy to give, but I don't think that it's easy for you to receive. Even if typically this would be a fair exchange of energy, I think you're much more apt at giving than receiving here. And what happens is it's showing you that you end up in a hermit mode. So again, it reinforces the Nine of Pentacles energy where you stand alone, right? So if you only give out to others and not receive in return, you will feel very isolated. But you will also feel elevated because you know that you'll have done the right thing. You're going to feel all the compassion that comes with that gesture. But truly, is that for your highest good? And is that truly respecting yourself as an empress if you're not going to allow things to also come to you? Probably not. I want to see why you are closed off still like this. Besides being uncertain and having felt betrayed in the past, you see, the activation is giving of oneself, but in a very measured way. It's very measured. Even giving out of yourself has to be monitored, because you don't want to give too much, especially since you're not receiving back. Although it's what you really want, you truly want that exchange. But you prefer to hide your light. Look at this character on this picture. She kind of holds it in a way that by crouching over it a little bit, she sort of hides it, or looks like she wants to hide it away. She's also holding on to it for dear life, thinking that she's going to lose if she gives it away. Tower just came out. So this is an energy of true activation, right? This is, there's no going around anything here. You can't avoid it. There's a huge change happening. It doesn't feel catastrophic, but it feels like a reset. It feels like you won't recognize your world after the blue moon. You won't recognize yourself, maybe. Something breaks open, basically. Cracks open. Let's see what this is about. The Four of Pentacles in the reverse, the Nine of Cups in the reverse, and the Nine of Swords upright. So you could change residence, you could change your group of friends, a circle of acquaintances that you're accustomed to, namely family, because of the Four of Wands here. You see, you have double 9 on the table, which is 9 is the end of the last number, right? So it speaks of endings, or at least reaching illumination. We also have the Hermit as the 9th major arcana. So in this case, unfortunately, you're ridden with doubts. That was the uncertainty. Something is making you feel like you're tied. It's probably because you have no control over what is happening and it's stressing you for dear life. I mean, it's very strong here. You might change residence. You might not recognize the landscape by the end of the month or after the end of the month, maybe moving into September. You're having a hard time finding the joy that was in your heart. And it's really too bad because there's great pleasure on the Strength card and in Leo season and on Lionsgate in general. That's the whole point of the portal, is to make you access your inner child and your uniqueness. Have it revealed to you so that you can pursue these things fully. But in your case, it has to do with your own light. It has to do with your ability to share yourself. And it's showing you just how guarded you are and just how independent, overly independent you truly are. So giving you a very clear picture here that it rips you and it robs you from your joy, inner joy. And it only creates stress for you because you're putting up boundaries that are not necessary. They're like too strong for what it is. It's unrequited, unwarranted. The boundaries are unwarranted. So this blue moon, which is a full moon and it's a super moon, will really shed light on what it is that you're protecting so much, which is you ultimately, but there might be one aspect of yourself that you hide away more than the others, that you prefer to keep intact. It could just be your heart, and it could just be you in relationships and you fearing being hurt in relationships. Of course, it could be that, but it could point to also a talent. And I think that's really interesting to bring forth here. You know, a talent that would actually be, that you could earn from, that would distinguish you as a unique individual out of others, amongst others. But you won't be able to keep still for very long. There's a huge change on the horizon. And it pertains to where you live. It pertains to what you perceive to be your stability at the moment and your inner joy, what brings you joy at the moment. So no wonder you're extremely anxious about this. I'm going to draw a keyword out of a makeshift deck. I'd like to see more about the move or the change of residence, or what is actually impacting your stability. And of course I get a question, what does it mean to you? So What does stability mean to you? What does happiness mean to you? And this is what will be removed, right? Yet, there's another way to read this. What does it mean to you is actually asking you to think further. You need to reflect really, 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 really deeply here with the hermit about, especially while you're in stillness, you need to reflect about what does stability mean to you, and what does this particular circle of people, of friends and acquaintances, family, what does it mean to you in terms of developing your talents and becoming truly who you are and living out courageously, right? Living out your originality and becoming this empress in your own eyes, right? Being the best version of yourself. What does it mean to you if you were to sacrifice, quote unquote, your stability and maybe your actual circle of friends, your current circle of friends? Maybe by moving into a new cycle, you're going to meet new people. You might surprise yourself at doing new things, living elsewhere, living differently. That would definitely alleviate the stress if you were to look at it differently. Let me pull one more. This one. Let me wait. Listen. So maybe listen to the inner voice, or maybe there will be some people with really, really good advice for you. I think this is how you get through your stress. Maybe you need to really open up to others, and not just about what you want them to see and what you're giving them that makes you look good, quote unquote, but rather share yourself and listen back to the advice. But it could simply be listen to your intuition, or maybe there's obviously more of guidance about staying still, being quiet, really, really paying attention like never before. I'm going to draw out of these are like little magical cards, little fairies, advice. So, what is the advice, especially for about listening in stillness and being alone for a while until the blue moon, maybe until the big change occurs? What is the best, or what does my collective need to know? That's too many. Hold on. I would like just one. I can't get around it. They really want to say more than one thing, so I'm going to keep these three. Apologies for not keeping the first ones, but so one is She of the Mossy Bray. And she reads, not all things are as they seem. Trust in your intuition. So definitely listen to your intuition. The Northwood Fae, let me show you. It reads, take time for hibernation and healing. Okay, so this is what's needed on the Hermit. And lastly, the Gatekeeper, let go. All things are possible on the borderlands. Well, the let go is definitely in link with the Tower card about you have no control about what's going to actually leave your life here. And so you need to let it happen. Wow, that's pretty on the dot, pretty on the nose. Anyways, guys, this is the collective reading for Lionsgate. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. Thank you.